Hey, you want to do something crazy for a video?
Okay, sure.
If you're wearing leather, honey, that's too much for me. I'm too soft to wear it, and I won't go in between. If you met my brother, baby, you could clearly see.
This is how you eat a Big Mac.
I'm not much the man it takes to take you home with me. No, I never can tell. You were in my head, making out that we were on thin ice, and you could stand your feet.
A couple weeks ago, we got our announcement of our ban list that is going to be impacting OP15. Most notably, 4-cost 4,000 pudding that shuffles your opponent's hand away is gone. 6-cost Kingdom Come is back. That lets yellow do even more stuff that we already are struggling with. And then finally, we got what I consider to be one of the most interesting unbans, which is 4-cost 5,000 Jinbe, who has 1k counter and lets you put another 7 Warlords of the Sea with cost 4 or less from your hand into play. It was really interesting to me because with Blue Dofi rotating out of the format, there really was no reason to keep this card banned. But I think more importantly, what really got my gears turning was, well, now that it's unbanned, what decks does this actually impact? And most notably, there are 3 leaders that can use this Jinbe. Mono Blue Boa Hancock, Blue Yellow Boa Hancock, and most importantly, in my opinion, Blue Jinbe. As soon as I saw that Blue Jinbe does basically everything that this 4-cost Jinbe wants to do, as it was already running the 4-cost 5k Law, which was from the starter decks and is already very good in that deck, of course you're going to want to do that. So I got to tinkering. I built around, I made a lot of iterations with this deck, and I think the version that I'm running right now is the best one. This is the list I'm running right here, and I want to break down some of the cards and some of the reasons that I'm running certain things, because I feel like this list is going to be great. I feel like this leader is going to take over the meta. It's not going to be expected by people and what they expect. This leader is going to go absolutely crazy. Let's start off with the leader for those who don't know. This is Blue Jinbe. He says, activate main as many times as you want, notably per turn. You can trash a card from your hand to give up to 2 Rested Dawn to a Fishman or Merfolk type character or leader. Jinbe can give this to himself, he can give it to smaller bodies, and typically the old package revolved around this 4-cost Aladdin, who would let you play out a 3-cost or less, where you're typically using 1-cost Searcher Arlong, or the 1-cost Chew, maybe the 1-cost that I can't remember the name of, he's the octopus, or you're putting out the 3-cost Watatsumi, who's a 2k. I think this list, originally, I think the problem with this is you are not actually gaining that much value from this. Sure, you're looking at 5-cost into like a 3 to 5 a 5,000 power into a 3 to 5,000 power, but it's not actually netting that much advantage because you're still going to have to trash cards down to do that. Whereas with this Jinbe, I think this is the most important part of this Jinbe. Your Jinbe is putting down another 5-cost. At worst, it's putting down a 4-cost Law, which you're only ever going to use to bounce back to your hand and shred your opponent's hand. I had a game recently where I was playing against Ace. Ace had 7 cards in hand. I actually used my 10 on turn to go Trafalgar Law, bounce him back to hand, Trafalgar Law again, bounce him back to hand, shred 2 cards from them, then trash the Trafalgar Law, attach 2 Rested Dawn, attach a couple more cards by trashing a few cards, and I actually swung and won the game because I even just shredding down 2 cards lets him not activate that leader ability as much, and I got more value out of it overall. This deck, with this new Warlords package, with dropping the 6-cost Weevil, which was always good in Doflamingo, is now even better in Jinbe because that 4-cost Jinbe is not just a 4-cost Jinbe, it's a 4-cost Fishman that lets me go a 7-cost swing. I can realistically, if I don't need the card that Weevil draws me, next turn I can attach it, I can play something else, discard the card that Weevil gave me, and attach the rest of Dawn to Jinbe, and we can do 2/7, something crazy. We can swing better with this deck. This deck is more aggressive. In fact, if you'll look at my list, I'm not even running the 4-cost 6k Boa blocker, even though it's a brick, and even though it's a really good blocker for all things considered. I don't think running it is the option. I think you want to go pure aggression with this build. This leader wants the aggression. This leader wants you to go crazy. And I think that's so interesting. I think this Jinbe list is unironically the coolest thing you could ever do in this new format. It's incredibly good into Purple Enel. This Purple Enel listing and matchup is you can use the 6-cost Boa. Then you can also use, in my opinion, a lot of people are debating this, you can use the 4-cost Jinbe that finds something other than a Jinbe. With my list, you're actually able to search a lot of the cards. You can only not find a Jinbe, which obviously doesn't do a lot for our searchers. Is why I'm only running a 2 of, because I do think for the Enel matchup, bottom decking those 1-costs is really valuable. It's just as valuable as the Boa, but it's also a 1k counter in hand when you don't need it. It's something you can trash or search with Sengoku. You have a lot of options with this deck. This deck feels more toolboxy than ever. This list is insanely good. I don't think there's any way around it. I want to talk about some of my choices. Some of the biggest choices being, I'm not running Jozu. I'm actually choosing instead to run 7-cost Gravity Blade and only a 1 of, because truly I believe outside of 4-cost Law, where you're gaining such a huge tempo advantage on potentially even turn 2, I think that 6-cost Jozu is bouncing cards back to hand, and I don't really want that. Even if it's a brick, I don't want to just be giving my opponents back resources, especially in this newer meta where things are a little bit faster, and giving your opponents even 1k advantage is just not good. Giving your opponents the ability to replay a 4-cost Perona is not good advantage. Giving your opponents like any reason to like just kind of take over or get another on play is not going to work with this Jinbe list. You need to be running a Gravity Blade. If you really need to tweak the numbers, I suggest maybe even a 2 of, right? Also, one of my bigger things that I'm doing is, like I said, I'm running this 4-cost Jinbe. 4-cost Jinbe is a little bit controversial. It cannot grab other Jinbe cards, but in my opinion, I think it really aids in the matchup against Enel because it's a turn earlier. As long as you get second, it is a turn earlier that you can start taking advantage of getting down those 1-costs and getting them out of the way. Then next turn you can start dropping your Boas, right? This list is so important for going against Enel. I would argue this list has almost 100% win rate into Enel. I have not struggled once into it since I have made the final tweaks, since I'm running the Sengokus, since I'm running my own 1-costs that just have so much aggression built into them thanks to them replacing themselves. This Jinbe list is honestly one of my favorite things I've ever ran, and I'm so passionate about it. I'm so passionate because I think I took the time and effort that I've never really gotten to do in this game to work and test with this build and make a Jinbe list that is purely and uniquely mine. This list is fast, it's hard, it's aggressive. I love it. I know I'm repeating myself a lot. This list is so much fun. I spent my first time ever trying to alt this list. I'm also running a 4-cost 5k Crocodile, which a lot of you Doflamingo fans will also recognize because it's a really good 2k, but then on, 1, it bounces a 2-cost or less. I'm using this because I think that while, yes, there are small blockers and stuff like that, I also think it's really good to go, hey, this is my, it's my 7 Dawn turn, right? And I haven't gotten to do my Jinbe play yet. I did my 5 Dawn doing something else. I can attach 2 Dawn, swing with my little Chew, right? Then we can bounce Chew back to hand using 4-cost Jinbe into the 4-cost Crocodile, pay the 1, bounce the Chew back to hand, and then discard it to use the 2 Dawn that I already attached to it onto my leader, and I can go 5-7 without ever really meaningfully losing tempo. It's really good. I think this list is just so insanely good. I know I'm just repeating myself. I love almost everything. The only thing I think I'm potentially changing is I could see myself cutting Watatsumi. I found that since I really got off of Aladdin and testing with that kind of strategy, that he can kind of go. I'm thinking of replacing him with the 2K Koala. I already have like a bunch just sitting around. I think I might just go ahead and make that swap. We'll see. You'll see if I post an edited version of it. But this list is so good. I think that I've talked to a lot of people. I think a lot of people have kind of doubted this list. I took it to a treasure cup, notably, just to like play around with after my matches. And then every single match that I played, I won against, except for one deck. I lost against a Mihawk, but the Mihawk thing was honestly me just not counting correctly. I could have swung a lot differently, and it would have changed the nature of that game. What I did was basically they had a blocker on the board with the 6-cost law. They were down to 0 life. What I should have done is I also had a 4-cost Jinbe on board, and then I was going to play an 8-cost Jinbe, do the on play, bounce the 6-cost back to hand. What I should have done is split my Dawn a little bit more evenly. I ended up doing Jinbe, trash my whole hand, attach 8 Dawn to my leader, and then 2 Dawn to 8-cost Jinbe. What I realistically should have done is I probably should have done 9 on little 4-cost Jinbe. I then should have changed the just changed a little bit of numbers. I feel like I could have definitely won that match. This deck is so good. It's good into Purple NL. It's good into Lucy of all things, because you're never really caring about that big blocker, that big 7-cost blocker. But this list is so good, man. There's so much little tech you can run. There's so much little interactions that just make this list churn, man. Your opponents have to focus on taking out your little guys in the early turns, so you're really saving life against a lot of those yellow burn decks. The list is literally undefeated against blue-yellow Nami and blue-yellow Boa. They cannot handle the aggression that you put out. These yellow decks, if you're tired of these yellow decks coming at you, kill the yellow players. Like, just take, don't go for board, just go for life. Keep going. It will work. It will work. I have yet to play test against yellow NL. I got to do it once in the unlimited format, and it was okay. I ended up losing because it was one of my first iterations of the lists. I really want to play test yellow NL. I'm interested to see how that pans out, but I will promise you, blue Jinbe is worth it. Like I said, I might go into a little bit more detail, but that's what I think. This is what I'm betting on for OP15. I'm betting on blue Jinbe, and I hope you do too. I will leave my list at the end of this, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about in the coming weeks. Stay tuned while we run it back. Second, this wind is horrible.
Yeah, it's windy.